Good morning. This is Dr. Timothy Scott back here at Life Point Medical. It is 2222, February the 2nd of 2022. So thank you for listening to me this morning. And we're up and running. Everything's good. The only thing I'm going to say is COVID is just everywhere. Lord have mercy. It is. It just seems like it's here and it's doing its thing, and I'm not sure we're going to be able to do anything to mediate that. And I'll tell you, actually, in monitoring different things, I'm watching, government entities across the nation and how they are changing their attitude towards this COVID. And interestingly, I think we're probably going to the right area in the sense that we need to focus more on treatment. And I don't think we're going to stop this thing. I don't think there's any measure you can do to stop it. It doesn't appear as if the mask or the vaccinations are actually stopping it. And even places with a very, very, very high level of vaccination rate are still having the same problem we have. Now, inherently, I still think that having the vaccine offers you an advantage from a death standpoint when it comes to the disease itself. But I don't think it's mediating the transmission of it. So we're going to have to learn to live with it instead of trying to stop it. And I've always been worried about that because I've been very fearful, that we were going to strangle ourselves economically or socially, trying to save ourselves from this virus and the fact that there's not a lot we could do to mediate it anyway. Now, I still want to remind everybody about the late pneumonia. The late pneumonia thing is a real thing, and I'm seeing it. I don't see a lot of other people talking about it, okay? But I don't go off necessarily what people are talking about. I'm just talking about what I see. I am seeing it, and it seems to be pretty prevalent. Okay, so, and what I'm talking about is you get the COVID, and you have a case of it, and you do or don't get treated, you are or are not vaccinated, and about 10 days later, you come down with bacterial pneumonia. Not viral pneumonia, bacterial pneumonia. So anyway, I'm just telling everybody to be vigilant of that. I know it's there, and I know it's doing it. And I'm still getting people who are calling me, telling me they just have a cold, they don't have COVID, and I'm having to correct them. They're usually not happy with that. But I do think COVID is absolutely everywhere. And I don't hardly even believe the test much anymore. It just seems like it's just everywhere. And the tests are positive, their tests are negative, their tests are up and down. It's here. Now, if you're symptomatic and you got a positive test, I know that. But if you're symptomatic and you have a negative test, I'm still skeptical, if you know what I mean. So so we're here for you for the COVID. If you need us, give us a call. So the next thing I want to re-talk about this again today. I've talked about it a lot, but I'm always amazed at what happens. And I tell my staff, if we as a group do the right thing with these annual wellness visits, we're going to save people's lives. Okay. The flip side of that is if you do what you're supposed to do with the annual wellness visits, i.e. come in and get one once a year, there's a pretty good chance we're going to find a life-altering situation that we can help you with. And we hound people about these things, getting these wellness visits. But I will tell you, almost daily, I'm reminded of how important they are. In other words, I find something on somebody that we wouldn't have looked at if we hadn't stepped back and done your wellness visits. Now, the annual wellness visits is a government program, so a lot of it isn't logical, okay? And people try to make it logical or try to tell us how to be logical about it and stuff like that. And we can't. We have a protocol we go by. The annual wellness visit is based on things that can hurt you that we can do something about, okay? And those things have to be determined through data and years of work. In other words, we don't screen for things that we can't do nothing about. We don't screen for things that don't kill you necessarily, but we try to match all those things up, like mammograms and colonoscopies. Those are like two things where we've determined as a society that they're most likely beneficial. And They can be deadly if they're not treated appropriately or detected appropriately. And there's not a lot of harm done by checking for them. Okay, now all of those things, all of those factors can be debated. Okay, so I'm not a know all be all on that stuff. Okay, but that's just how we think about it, and we've got to. So we have a subset of different things that we talk to you about that we know we can do something about, and if you don't do something about them, they can be particularly deleterious for us. I mean, we screen for falls. You got vaccinations. We're talking about, like I say, the mammograms, the colonoscopies, the general lab work that we do, the prostate-specific antigen. We talk about that during wellness. We talk about bone density in women and men. We talk about screening for your aortic aneurysm if you have one. Those are just some things that we talk about. All the vaccinations, from the COVID vaccination to the flu vaccination to the pneumonia vaccination. We just go through those, or the tetanus and pertussis vaccinations. So that is the purpose. That's what we do with those wellnesses. Again, if you're trying to be logical, you got to listen. We have to kind of follow our protocol here, and it's what the government tells us to do with it. So anyway, thank you for listening to me. Have a wonderful day. Call us if you need us, or you want one of those annual wellness visits. We will be glad to accommodate you with that. Have a wonderful day. Call us if you need.